Now, episode 20, this is the final of my season 3 reviews. Honestly, this episode actually is really good and it sets up season 4 really well. But I'll talk about that at the end of the episode, of course. I feel like the Forbidden and 5 here played a decent role with them, with basically Zot and Kerr, who played the kind of least important role last part, having to fight the two ninja teams. For example, Kai and Nia fight Zot, which Zot isn't actually a comic relief character. Last part, I will say he was realistically outnumbered completely. So I understand how he was completely beaten. Picks when that came round, Lloyd and him were fighting. He did seem like they were kind of evenly matched. Of course, Lloyd did beat him. In general, but there was an actual fight going on there. And, just here, he's actually shows how powerful he is and how much of a menace he can be. And it's kind of annoying that Season 5 probably won't be a thing anymore after the season because of they kind of get it straight after Fun Fang's defeat. But we don't want to talk about that. Zart versus Nia and Kai was honestly really good. I did like that whole kind of thing. I also loved Kerr coming and basically trying to destroy stuff. He was a decent threat to that, and he actually ended up making Ryu do Spin Jitsu, which is honestly really good because Ryu was training his whole part to do Spin Jitsu, of course, and the fact that it worked is really amazing. I hope it's not just a one-off thing, and he hasn't perfected it, and he can actually do Spin Jitsu now. Probably can do Spin Jitsu. So I really enjoy that. It's the first time we see a dragon actually trained to do Spin Jitsu. Of course, we've seen dragons do Spin Jitsu. And Eren, to fix his mistake of breaking the little artifact or summoning thing that they used to summon the Dragon of Focus, he puts his Ojet Spin Jitsu inside of it and basically uses that to summon the Dragon of Focus. And plot twist, when they summon him, there was a leak that Aaron's eyes were glowing green or yellow, whatever you want to call this. And basically, it's because he's viewing the Dragon of Focus. Honestly, I did enjoy this. I feel like you don't necessarily need them to be controlling the Dragon Focus, but at the same time, I'm not gonna say I hate it because them controlling the Dragon Focus is really nice. Also, from everyone else's point of view, from when the Dragon Focus was sleeping, they get to see the kind of battle between Thunderfang and the Dragon Focus, and they're obviously cheering it on while fighting for their lives. Honestly, I thought that was a key detail video point out in the actual show, of course, but I thought that it was just nice to have it played in the background while we actually you can probably see some stuff you missed from the actual fight if you just watched the thing. I have no idea, I'm not going to bother going through all of that. But like I said, I did like the Forbidden 5 in this episode. It's probably the main bit I feel like they had any actual relevance in general with them actually having a full-on fight and not just them sucking souls out of people's bodies and giving it to Thunderfang. But Thunderfang vs. Dragon Focus, it takes a while for Eren and Lloyd to get to focus together until Lloyd decides to follow Eren's lead and they end up matching each other's tone, and yeah. While that's going on, we basically get the return of Jay, and Jay basically beats Zart, he does say, Zart, you're my most hated or least favorite person, but I'm pretty sure Zart and Jay haven't really technically met. I've never seen them on screen together, but, I'm gonna leave that. He ends up beating Zart, which honestly, that fight was actually pretty cool. I did like that, especially when he punches the camera from our point of view. Yeah, punches Zart, which was very nice. And then when he went to Nia to see if she was okay, it was really nice and touching. And then he basically said, being with you makes me not want to be a terrible person, which I thought was pretty nice. I did enjoy that kind of scene. I am honestly probably just biased because I like Jay in general. He's my favourite character of Ninjago, my favourite ninja. So I definitely am biased when it comes to Jay. I will admit that. I feel like anyone will be biased when it comes to that favourite ninja unless it's completely unjustified. But yeah, and then there's also a scene of Kai and Jay where Kai basically calls him out Kai basically says he used to say he was the worst ninja, which to be fair, I will say a lot of people actually think, in general, as fandom, think Jay's the worst performing ninja and the weakest ninja. That's just a fandom in general thinking it. Obviously when they power scale the ninjas. So I don't know if he's mentioning that, but it does sound like something Kai would just say behind that back, to be honest. Now, I really can't see anything bad this episode because when they end up defeating Thunderfang, everything goes back to normal. But the Arc Dragon Focus basically ends up warning them that their masters or their master will not see it that way, their creator will not see it that way, or probably not see it that way, because obviously the Source Dragons don't want to help the mortals or don't want to help them without their consent, and they use the Source Dragon Focus's conduit on actual Guardian or whatever you want to call it, Monarch, without Avatar, I think it's called actually, without their knowledge. So the elemental powers end up working out for every elemental in the merged lands. Elemental powers are going to be acting up this whole season. Well, 3 elemental powers left, which I will call this out. Jay's powers left, energy and emotion and flow are left. They're the 3 Source Dragon powers that are left. So I don't know if that's going to mean anything because Kai, Jay and Nia are all together. So I will talk about it in a future video. But from what they're saying, it says all Source Dragons in the merged lands will be, all Source elemental powers in the merged lands will be acting up. So their powers will act up. I don't know if this will mean anything. I'm going to talk about this in a future video because I feel like it's worth talking about, considering Jay, Kai, and Nia are all next to each other. Maybe the powers act up less or something, or maybe they get aid from their Source Dragons. I have no idea, but they're all in kind of merged lands. So you have, when they try to return home, they're basically in new realms. They didn't want to end up with Lloyd basically at a green place, Wildfire, Frack and Soul, and Ryu, which will be a great team for the whole Ninjago Dragon Rising Season 4. I really like for the team because these 3 make a good chemistry, and it's nice to see them have a whole journey together, to be honest. They're in kind of some kind of wasteland. It looks kind of like there's literally nothing here. It looks like it's been destroyed somewhere or something used to be here. And I don't know what this one will be. Yeah, but then that plays, and then Kai and Nia, which some people have theorized to be Land of Monsters. It could be, but there's also apparently 3 realms we do not know until in Dragon Rising yet. So these 3 realms could be those. Who knows? We have no idea. I'm assuming they're realms we haven't been to in the actual show. The Land of Monsters we haven't been shown in the show, but we've been shown in Legend Monstrosity, Ninjago Legends, of course. So I would love to see Ninjago Monsters in this show, and it would make sense if this is where Kai's vision comes into play, which I will probably make another video on, because we still don't know what Kai's vision is, so there's a lot of stuff to make videos on. I do like the whole ending with Raz actually capturing Wu. I don't know what he's planning, but he basically ends it off with saying everyone in the merged lands is trapped. And considering he's at the temple and stuff, I don't know what he's going to do to Ruby and stuff. I know some people probably don't care, but that could greatly affect Wildfire and all that. He is at the center of temples. He's probably not going to stay there, but Cole will probably divulge more Source Dragon icons, I would assume. That's probably going to be his plot. I don't know if Season 3 Part 1, if they'll end up reuniting, or if they're going to be split for the whole Season 4 Part 1. Who knows? But yeah, that is basically Dragon Rising Season 3. Season 3's ending. I did enjoy it. It was tough not talking about it for the week when it got leaked. I talked about it briefly. I didn't make any specific videos on it. I made some, but didn't make a lot because it was kind of hard to talk about without actually showing footage. But I do just love the whole sequence of them running back into the thing when they find out their powers are gone. It sets up Season 4 really well. I do love this. It probably would have been great if the Sorceress went with Jay, Kai, and Nia, because they would have been able to get back. But that's nothing we can do about that. I do love the fact that Kai, Jay, and Nia are on team, because that's the original team. That Kai and Nia both went to try and look for Jay, and that's what they said in Season 2. So I really like the fact that they're on the team with Jay, and Wildfire, Sora, and Vrack on the team are great, and he has the prismatic blade and all that. That's great. Lloyd and Aaron having some bonding time. They're the only duo, I guess. And with Cole and Zane, I feel like Cole might be have a decent focus into season 4. I'm pretty sure Zayn might also have a decent focus. So with these all split up, Zayn and Cole might have actually a decent focus in season 4. We can only wait and see though. So without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, do all great stuff, and bye guys.